what's interesting is like there's especially in the prepper world, like we talk about community, our communities, right? Like-minded individuals, they understand their skill sets. We talk about them. Like you kind of create your inner circle of people. And that's why it's so important to have groups like our Facebook and Discord groups that you can come in and connect with other people and find out who's in your area that you can work with and trust and start building that relationship now. Right. Because really what happened if you go all the way back to the Revolutionary War, 3% of the population was like, we're done with England. We're getting out. 3%. That's it. Mm-hmm. They were the catalyst to creating this new country. And what happened? There were some people on the England side still, and they're like, I'm going to help them. We can't let this fall apart. And there's a lot of people that were like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Let's get out of this thing. This is not helping us at all. Let's move on. And that is where we're headed again. But everything's trying to divide us so that we won't come together. Everything is designed to pull us apart. I mean, capitalism is great, but crony capitalism, which is what these major corporations, right? They're trying to do. Blackstone, what's the other big one?
Well, BlackRock.
Vanguard, BlackRock and Vanguard. Mm-hmm. They're like, we're going to do it this way. And they own majority of everything. So then you look at the stock markets and what's going on in the stock markets, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I heard
what's going on with the wars, and it's all connecting.
Yeah, I heard some amazing numbers this morning that BlackRock has under management $10 trillion. That's more than the GDP of I think it's Spain and Germany put together. So what kind of power do they have? What kind of influence do they have with that kind of currency? I'm not going to say money, because it's just digital. I mean, they don't have that in the bank. It's not cash sitting here or there. But and then Vanguard, I think, has like $7 trillion. Do you have any idea how much $1 trillion is? I think to count to $1 trillion, it would take like 32,000 years, something like that. To count 1, 2, 3, it's insane how much currency has been created and is out there. I know, totally different track, but it is hard to comprehend what's going on behind the scenes with, like you say, Scott, with the what's going on in the White House. We have no idea. We really have no idea what's going on. But anyway, get me back on track.
No, so I was going to say that
market.
I used to talk about when I would do a presentation to a brand new client back when I was meeting with tons of clients brand new and in the industry of finance, and I would tell them what $1 trillion was, and I'd say if you stacked dollar bills on top of each other, and you had $1 trillion or a couple trillion, I can't remember how many, it was either $1 trillion or 2 or 3 trillion. You could stack dollar bills on top of each other, and the stack would hit the moon and back, and then the moon and back. And so somebody even said that maybe $1 trillion, or I don't know if it was 1 billion seconds ago, was like Jesus was on the earth. It was like, that's how many. That's just to give you perspective on the vast numbers here. And I'm going to jump into something else that all of us agree on, that at least I think our community will agree on, is that we need to end the Fed, right? So the Federal Reserve is not, it's a total joke. It's not a federal, it's a private corporation. It's not owned or operated by the government. It's actually a private corporation run by the globalists that basically manage, control, and otherwise run our monetary supply. And like you said, Shane, they run the currency, which is not God's money. God's money is, quick commercial, God's money is gold and silver. Thank you, and end of story. All right, moving on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, another interesting numbers I heard the other day that apparently someone requested a, what is it called? Where you request a FOIA request, right? Freedom of Information Act. Request, and the Fed had to disclose how much currency was created and lended out to during the financial crisis. They've disclosed to some of the banks that some of the loans, but some of these loans to other countries and these other big banks, I think it was, what's the big bank in China? The HSBC.
It was one of them.
Yeah, they and I may be getting this completely wrong.
I think you were talking about Deutsche Bank.
But I think it was HSBC in particular.
Okay.
It was disclosed that the Fed loaned them. It was like $4 trillion, maybe it was $7 trillion, something like that, during this last. I think it was during the last 2 years for the pandemic. They're just loaning them, and this is not on their books. They have a $9 trillion balance sheet, right? That of assets they're buying, which are mostly mortgage-backed securities. They also lent out trillions and trillions of dollars to other banks and other countries. And, there's the list is, I don't think, been fully disclosed either. It's just unbelievable. Like I was kind of saying before, is what's going on behind the scenes. We have no idea. Trillions and trillions of dollars. No.
Yeah, it'll never be. It makes more sense for them to create new loans to pay off the old loans, to create new interest, because they can multiply the interest 13, 20, 40, 50 times, however many times they want to, because it's not on anybody's books. And they can do that so that they have control, and they can maintain control. Mm-hmm. And that also creates a permanent cash flow for them. Like it's never in their best interest to pay off a debt. Exactly. It's always in their best interest to create a new debt. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's their product. That's what they're selling. They're selling debt.
Yeah.
And in the end, they're buying everything. They're buying the world. I mean, that's the 2030 plan is by 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Right.
Because the elite, they'll own everything.
And I'll say his name correctly. Thank you very much, Klaus Schwab.
Yes. The perfect Bond villain, right?
Yeah, he is. He looks like it too.
Oh my goodness.
Well, what's interesting is I was watching an analysis of our current state of affairs in the economy, and our bond funds. This is the first time in I can't remember how many years those have reversed, but they're actually, inflation's so much higher than what those return is that everyone's getting out of bond funds right now.
Well, yeah, the yield curve is inverted. Yeah, between the two.
Whenever the yield curve inverts, what happens?
Go into recession.
Major recession. Mm-hmm. And the curve inversion right now is actually worse than
2008.
The 2008, but also worse than the what was the 70s one as well.
Oh, okay, early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah. Not quite as bad yet as the Great Depression, but it won't take much. It won't take much to drop off that edge, especially with inflation continuing to rise. And you wonder, I mean, what else is going on in the market that we don't know about? Behind the scenes, there's all this stuff talking about Bitcoin and all the different Ethereum and all the different types of XRP and other blockchain and other token systems, and the Fed's trying to create their own, and they brought over the former board members from XRP and Ripple and all these other companies. And I'm like, okay, what are they up to? There's more going on than what we can see, because they don't have to disclose everything right now.
They're unelected. They have no responsibility to report to anybody. I'm going to throw this out so you guys can listen. There's a channel on YouTube, and he's also got his website. It's called Days of Noah. Have you guys heard that? DAYZ, Days of Noah. This guy, I want to say he's a psychologist, but that's what he studied for years. And he goes through and shows actual reports, actual information, data showing what's going on behind the scenes, and it will blow your mind. They are trying to control everything. But then we're kind of getting back into the tinfoil hat things. But, all conspiracy theories or majority of conspiracy theories become conspiracy fact. I mean, that's...
Well, the difference between a conspiracy theory and a conspiracy fact is just a year or two.
Exactly. It's just time. It's just time.
In fact, just speaking to that point, literally Breitbart, which is a major news resource source, says global elites plotting to destroy Americans' personal income. And wealth. That's a Breitbart article my dad sent me yesterday. USA Today, is the U.S. headed for a recession? This Wall Street bank thinks so, and that's Deutsche Bank. I mean, they're one of the biggest banks in the world, and they're saying that we're going to be headed towards a recession in the next 2 years. By 2023, we should be in recession. And so this is not just conspiracy theory.